Hey there, it's John Paulus. You're listening to the Life's Potluck Buffet. Thanks for joining me today. And in full disclosure, the magical deck of cards that I have here, I shuffled them yesterday in the ritual way that I normally shuffle them. After I did that episode, I think because I was just trying to see if I would pull up card number 5 again, and I did not. I pulled up card 14. If you're in a race against yourself, you can never catch up, which we actually spoke about recently as well. But I just wanted to let you know that, so that I was kind of trying to reset the cards. I don't know if that was advisable, but I did it anyway. So thanks for listening, and stick around for today's episode about how to connect to people, to anything. And we'll ask the cards all about that in just a moment. Oh, first of all, I want to say everybody who I met yesterday or saw, who I knew already at the Art, Wine, and Politics event, it was such a pleasure to meet you, and I'm so grateful to know you. And if I've known you for a long time, I'm still grateful that I know you. So thanks for making it such a great evening. Thanks to the organizers of the event, it was terrific. So thanks to everyone. So, all right. Now, today's question is how to connect. And by that, I mean how to connect with people, how to connect with opportunities, how to connect with things. I'm just asking the cards, how do we connect with our world in a clearer and way that is going to lead to flourishing for us? Okay. So, as usual, I will shuffle the cards. And I already mentioned that I've kind of reset the deck. I don't know what that means, reset. The deck is probably like, what is this reset the deck stuff? But anyway, so these cards are really magical, though. I have to tell you, I was explaining to some people last night about how I, challenged the cards to, make card 52 appear, and they did. And they, they're like, see? All right. So I just did half of the shuffling that I do. Now I'm just going to do one last shuffle away from the microphone so the sound it doesn't blow up the sound. Okay. All right. There we are. And I always look for a space where there seems to be like some natural kind of gap, because I feel like that's the cards telling me to go for that area. It's hard to do exactly sometimes. Oh, there it was, right there. Okay, here's our answer. Cards, how do we connect? The card is card 37, the third time's the charm. So card 37 has an exercise that I've done with hundreds of people where you say 3 things that you want to do for yourself or for others, and then after those 3, you write them down or you say them out loud. And when I do this with folks individually, I tend to say 4 things, but the point of the exercise is that the first couple of things are just like, you kind of are things that you're just airing out there. You're getting them out there, the things that are at the top of your mind. And the third thing is always like a really interesting new thing because like you've kind of emptied your mind of other things, and then the new information comes in when you're at the third thing. And this works like a charm for a lot of things. Like yesterday, remember I was doing the what we were going to call that shoelace company of the future, or shoelace product line, and I did 3 things. I tend to do that for everything. When I talk about people about, how to do a name, how to come up with a name for something, how to come up with what their next career move needs to be, how to come up with what is their central core priority in the work that they're doing or in their life. I use this technique of listing A, B, C, D, usually, and the cards have you do A, B, C. To be honest, D, the reason I got rid of D for the cards is that like it's a little too it takes too much explaining, but I'll tell you now that I found that D, um, the fourth thing in your list of things, is often a kind of afterthought, and a lot of people run out of steam at that point. They only have three things that they're thinking of, and then the fourth thing they'll be like, I can't think of a fourth thing. That's good because I'm trying to get to the point where you've like exhausted all the options and you're left with just that fourth thing. So when I did the card, I just focused on the three things, and the way that I made it a surprise is the card has you turn it upside down to see the interpretation. So when you turn the card upside down, you say now it says now start by considering the third thing you said. Is there anything surprising about it? You'll do all these things, but know that deep down the third thing is probably your priority. And the same thing goes for like what's your core kind of strength or your or what's the name that you're gonna do for something, right? Like yesterday when we were talking about the shoelaces, the third thing I had was FX laces. Do you remember that? That was that's a good name. That's very descriptive of the kind of thing I was going for these shoelaces of the future, and that second name. Neon 90s, which is a really cool name. That isn't great for the whole line of shoelaces. It's great for like a product line within the line of shoelaces. So the first and second things that you're saying, you'll do them. They're useful, but the third thing is often like the light bulb. It's often the part where something new comes up and it's a aha moment. And that's what we're always looking for, is a surprising thing. And if you go through A, B, C, and D with any exercise you're trying to do and you don't feel like C was an aha moment, look around for A and B and see if there's an aha moment there. It's possible. Like I've told many people who I've done this exercise with, and I realize now why the card is talking about this, because this is certainly the way that I've connected with a lot of people is through these exercises, and it's been a really important and enlightening way for me, and I hope for everyone who's spoken with me. To think about their lives, and it's certainly a way that we connect, because the idea of this exercise is that these things that you're saying, they're like deeply held things about yourself. They're when you're sharing these three things that you want to do for yourself or others. I've really connected with a lot of people over those things, and I think that if I had to say the cards were telling us anything about how to connect with people, with others, with things you want to do, this is a great card, obviously, for connecting with things that you want to do, and also. It's also a great way to connect with people that you want to meet. So try this out. Do the first, write out, who do you want to meet, and write A, B, C. Okay, write those down, and then fill in A, B, and C. And once you do that, look at the list. If you feel like you have a D or more, just write those down too. But really look at the third thing and see what you come up with. Because I often find that that's where the brainstorm is. That's where the light bulb, it's the aha moment. If the aha moment is in the second thing, fine. If occasionally the aha moment is at the top of your head. And so the person that you want to connect with will be that A on the list. And here's a neat little thing about connecting with people. When you're connecting with them, obviously talking, about, how you came about your connection with them let them know about the Third Time's the Charm and Life's Potluck Buffet and how this episode helped you to have a way to connect with a person, to understand who you needed to connect with and why you needed to connect with them and how you needed to connect with them. So that could give you a little bit of help in terms of if you're like, oh, I don't, I got to say this, as part of our conversation that this is what I did. If you feel comfortable saying that, if the conversation's going well and you don't need to say anything about Life's Potluck Buffet, don't say anything about Life's Potluck Buffet. But if you're looking for a moment, and I find this, occasionally you're trying to talk to someone and sometimes conversation flows very easily with people, and we know that, and that happens. Sometimes the conversations don't flow as well for all sorts of various reasons. So if this gives you something to talk about with someone, then by all means, please talk about this card number 37, Life's Potluck Buffet, and about the third time being the charm, and see what happens. So thanks for listening today. I'm so glad you did, as always. If you are enjoying these episodes, please subscribe, give them likes, as many as you like, and I will see you tomorrow on the next episode of Life's Potluck Buffet.